Imagine doing everything right and still losing. Now, this past week, there were elections in Michigan and I think Missouri. And there was one candidate in particular I wanted to talk about, and not in any sort of real political way, but it is probably the funniest story that came out Tuesday. There was this candidate by the name of Amir Hassan. He was running as a Republican. He's a former Muslim turned Christian, and he was running in a Republican district. So it was pretty safe to say that he had a good chance of winning. In fact, he had such a good chance of winning that his opponent dropped out of the race. So his opponent dropped out of the race. He also had a Donald Trump endorsement. So I'm going to set the stage. His opponent dropped out. He had a Donald Trump endorsement. He's basically running against no one at this point. So when the elections come on Tuesday, he lost. That's right. He lost. I don't know how much he lost by, but he lost by a lot. And he lost to his opponent who dropped out. The guy who dropped out won the race, won the Republican nomination, and the guy, Amir Hassan, who had the Trump endorsement, lost. And I thought this was the most hilarious thing I have ever seen because I don't think this has ever happened before, like in political history, at least in American political history. And I think the only reason that it happened was because this guy had a Muslim name and he's running as a Republican. He's a black Republican at that. And I think the people in the district were just so fucking Islamophobic that they just saw his name and then voted for like the whitest guy they could find. And if he wasn't a black Republican, I might feel a little bad for him, but I mean, listen, he basically sold out. He did everything right to try to win the nomination, to be completely fair to him. And his opponent dropped out, but he lost by a lot. And his concession speech in his car is one of the saddest things I've ever seen in my life.
Hey, good morning, everybody. I fell short last night. I make no excuse. It was a tough race. But over the last year, I've had some incredible dealings with people across the entire district. I've learned the issues that we are going through and are facing, and it's just strengthened my resolve. I always speak about conservative values, and the biggest conservative value is we don't make excuses. We see an obstacle, and we figure out a way to overcome it. And this is no different. I know what God has in store for me. It's something greater, even if I can't see it right now and I don't understand. But I was reminded to lean not on my own understanding, but that of the Lord. And so that's what I'll do. So to all the winners yesterday, congratulations. I'm very excited for the top of our ticket, and we will get out and vote. Thank you. I look forward to seeing you again, and it's still time to flip the eighth.
He's in his car just saying, hey, this was a hard fought race, which, first of all, you can't say that. You cannot say that when your opponent dropped out. I think I read he raised less than, his opponent, Thomas Smith, raised less than $2,000. So his opponent dropped out, had the Trump endorsement, basically clearing the field for him to win the Republican nomination. And I think this is like a Trump district as well, like a Republican Trump district. He won by, I don't know how much in 2024, but it's favorable for him. If he would have won, he probably would have won the Republican nomination, or not the Republican nomination. Like if he won the Republican nomination, he probably would have went on to the general and won. Maybe, but it was favorable to him. But the voters of Michigan, the Republican voters of Michigan, looked at the names, said, we're not voting for a Muslim, voted for the white guy. And the funniest thing about this, because I didn't know if the guy who dropped out, like I didn't know the rules around this since the guy dropped out who won, if he was going to accept the nomination or not. But it does turn out that the guy who won, Thomas Smith, is going to accept the Republican nomination and will go on in November to face the Democratic challenger. And I wonder what Amir's family thinks of him. Like, you basically turned your back on the community that raised you. You became a Christian. I mean, which that's fine. I'm not going to judge him for that. But you did everything you possibly could to win over these people. It turns out we'll never fuck with you. Like, I think there's two things he could have done to win. One, just change your name to like a white sounding name. Just like John Doe or some super generic shit. I don't fucking know. Change your name. And then the other thing, which I think is a little more important, like, you probably should have put yourself out there more. Like, you had the fucking Trump endorsement. Like, I guess he thought that would be enough. And it clearly wasn't, because the people in his district just did not know who the fuck he was and thought he was just some, like, I guess Muslim terrorist. But yeah, that's pathetic. How, like, I know that man was shook when he found out the results. He probably thought this was going to be like the easiest night of his life. Like, it's some real coming to Allah moment. I don't fucking know. Actually, no. It's his coming to Jesus moment, because he's a Christian. It's his coming to Jesus moment. He got embarrassed. Like I said, part of me wants to feel bad for him, but I mean, he knew what he signed up for. He did everything right. I mean, he did. He got the endorsement. His opponent dropped out. It should have been an easy win. He lost. But yeah, that's probably the funniest thing that happened that election night. I mean, I didn't really pay attention to that much. It was like all over the news with the Senate race and all that. But that was the funniest story that came out. And I wanted to talk about that because that's probably the first time it's ever happened. Like, usually when you get all of those, like, conditions, you're bound to win. Like, 99% chance. Like, there is no reason he should have lost. But the 1%, like, he's going down in history forever. Like, in the worst possible way. But yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about, because it is probably the most embarrassing thing that could ever happen. Like, I don't think he's gonna run again in politics. Like, I know if that was me, I'm done. Like, that's the most embarrassing thing that could ever happen. Yeah, but thank you for watching. Thank you for watching the last video. That's doing really well. I'm gonna be putting out some more content soon. But until next time, thank you, love you. I'll talk to all y'all later.